So my screen is visible. My voice is audible over there. Okay. So merge sort. We will start with lecture 14 later on. First of all, we will have a look at merge sort. So this was the last topic left in the previous class, right? Uh, okay. So what have we discussed in the last class? Anyone? So we had discussed recurrence, right? And we had discussed binary tree. Now merge sort is a sorting algorithm, and what does sorting do is you have a list of elements, maybe a list of integers, and you just want to sort them in increasing or decreasing order. Okay, and merge sort is based on recursion. Merge sort is based on recursion. Okay, we'll see how this merge sort works. It's one of the best sorting algorithms, and its time complexity is very less. And when I talk about sorting algorithms, there are multiple sorting algorithms, and merge sort is one of the uh, among most important sorting algorithms. Okay, so what does merge sort do? Let's see with the example, so you'll get an idea of how this merge sort works. So suppose this was a list given to you 824 697 10 1 5 3. You want to sort these numbers. Okay. Now I will. Okay. Online students, this these numbers are visible to you. Online students, these numbers are visible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these are the start from here. Okay. Start from here, and you can see this list having elements. Now, merge sort is nothing. You just divide numbers. You first of all divide and then you merge. Okay. You divide it until only one element is remaining. Now, how to divide? You will divide it into half. Okay. So, half numbers are from here to here 8, 2, 4, 6, 9. So, you have divided it, and 7, 10, 1, 5, 3. So, you have again divided it. Okay. So, you always divide it into half. If odd numbers are there, then n plus 1 in first list and n in second list. Okay. Now 8 to 4, 6, 9, you again divide it, and you keep on dividing it until only one element is remaining. Now have a look at this. This is a binary tree, right? Binary tree means having two child nodes, right? So right now you have done nothing. You are just dividing your numbers into two sublists, and you are dividing all the sublists into further sublists until only one element is remaining. Okay. So in the last level, only 8 and 2 are remaining over here, and 4 is remaining in the upper level of the binary tree. Okay, and so on. So check out at the last level, only one element is remaining over every node. Okay, now because you have divided it, what you will do is you will keep on merging this. Okay, now concept is that if I have a one number, if I have any number that is maybe 99, 98. Okay, suppose I have 98. Now this is already sorted, right? So I don't need to sort it. Okay. So what I will do is I will keep on merging those two numbers which are already sorted. Now 99 itself is sorted, 98 itself is sorted, but I will merge it by keeping 98 first and 99 second. Okay. So I will get a list having two elements which are sorted, 98, 99. Got it? And we will repeat this procedure up till we get whole merged list. Okay. So this is the concept. Now have a look at this over here. You have element 8 and you have element 2. You merge it in such a way that it is sorted. You pick out, you keep your pointer, first pointer over left subtree sublist, and second pointer over your second sublist, okay? And you merge these two by picking out the smallest number first from the two numbers you are comparing, okay? From 2 and 8, 2 was smaller, so you will add it in the new list, which is 2, and remaining element was 8, you will add it in the list 2 comma 8, okay? And now over here you have 4, 2, 8 and 4. Now how you will proceed? You will keep first pointer on 2 and second pointer on 4, okay? You will compare 2 and 4 and you will add 2 over the list and slide your first pointer towards 8, okay? Now you will compare 4 and 8, okay? And out of 4 and 8, which was smaller, 4 was smaller, so you will add 4 in the list and delete that pointer because that list is over, okay? So only element that is remaining was 8, okay? So if you have two lists and suppose elements were 2, 3, 4 in the in left hand side sublist and 5 in the right hand side, okay, or maybe 1 in the right hand side, so you will pick out one, and because right hand side list is deleted, so you will note down all the elements of remaining left list. Why? Because it is already sorted. So you will note down 8 over here, okay? Clear? This 248 is clear to everyone? Clear? Now similar procedure you will repeat. Now you will merge 7 and 10. You will merge 5 and 3, 3, 5. Now have a look at, okay, have a look at this 8, 7, 10 and 3, 5. Okay, so because 3 and 5, you will first compare 8 and 3. So 3 was smaller, you have placed 3 over here. Sorry, 1, this is 1. 1 and 3. So you will compare 1 and 3. 1 was smaller, you have written 1 over here. You have slided your pointer to 7 and it was all 3 was already there. Now you will compare 3 and 7. Which one is smaller? So 3 is smaller. So you will note down, you have noted down 3 and you have slided your pointer to 5. Okay, now you will compare 7 and 5, whichever was smaller. So you have noted down 5. Now this list is over. So you will add 7 and 10, all the remaining elements of the second list to your list because upper list is already sorted, right? So this is the procedure of merge sort. I hope this is clear to everyone. Clear? So this is the algorithm. Now we are only doing two things. First, we are dividing it up till we only one element is remaining. Okay, and how we are dividing it? Dividing into two, right? And so m is n by 2. N is a number of elements. So left sublist is having 1 to m elements and right sublist is having m plus 1 to n elements. Okay. Now what you will do is you will merge. Now how you will merge is you will keep calling merge, okay, on the divided lists L1 and L2, right? This is clear. Now merge is calling merge sort L1. Merge sort L1 is nothing, the same algorithm. So first of all, this will run and this will run. Merge will run in the last until all the merge sorts are called, right? And what merge sort is function is doing, it is dividing. Okay, and whenever you get last L1 having one or two element, it will return some element. That is only one element in the left list sublist and one element in the right sublist, and then merge will start working. And merge will start working, what merge will do, it will compare those two elements, shift the pointer to the right until keep on comparing the elements in the two sublists, right? So let's see merge function. So merge procedure will do is while L1 and L2 are both non-empty. If both becomes empty, then you will stop. Okay. And if L1 and L2 both are having some values, what you will do is remove the smaller of the first element. So you are having first list and you are having second list. You will compare this element and this element, delete whichever is smaller, and then shift your pointer to right, right? And put the smaller of the first elements to the L. So in L, you will put this element over here, right? And shift your pointer to the right. Now, if this removal makes one list empty, if only one element was there, then what you will do? If this list was not there, okay, what you will do in that case? Yes. Sorry, किसी का माइक ऑन है. So ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स आप माइक ऑफ कर लीजिए अपना. If only one element was there, what you will do is you will place it over here, whichever is smaller. Suppose this was smaller, so one was smaller, you have kept it over here. This list was deleted, so you will place all the elements of this list over here because it is already sorted. So this is a procedure that's written over here. Remove all the elements of the other list and append it to L if uh, either of the list becomes empty, right? So this is your merge sort. So online students, किसका mic on है? Okay, so this merge sort is clear to everyone. Okay, let's start with next lecture. This is your practice question. You have to solve it yourself. It's very easy based on recursion. Okay, let's start with lecture number 14, which is a linear recurrence relation with constant coefficients. Now, recurrence we have seen. Now, every recurrence has three things. First is initial conditions. You will specify the initial constant a0, a1. Recurrence is nothing, a function that is calling itself. Okay, so an that is calling an minus 1, an minus 2. Okay, so because it's calling n minus 1 and n minus 2, you need a naught and a1 to calculate a2, right? So for calculating a2, you require 2 into a1 a2 minus sorry 2 into a1 minus a naught, right? So for calculating a2, similarly for calculating a3, you require a2 and a1 and so on. Okay, now solution is an is equals to 3n. How what is solution? Solution is you can represent any number without a recurrence. So representing that function without recurrence is your solution. Okay, you don't want it you don't want an to be called dependent upon an minus 1 and an minus 1 n minus 2 basically. And so that's why this is your solution. An is equals to 3n. Now if you put a0, a0 is given to you, a1 is given to you. Now a2 would be 3 into 2, right? 6 and so on. Next is linear recurrences. So this is the example given over here. So they are calculating a3. Okay, so there are two types of recurrences, homogeneous and non-homogeneous recurrences. Uh, Pay attention to these because these are a bit difficult to understand. Linear homogeneous recurrences looks like this. So this is the equation. If you see an equation, you must tell that this is a linear homogeneous recurrence relation. Linear because you are not having a square, a cube, and so on. And homogeneous because you are not having any constant added to this equation or any other number added to this equation. You are just having coefficients and previous recurrence, previous function. Okay. For example, now these are all the examples of recurrences. So first of all, this is Pn. Now you have to tell me whether it's a recurrence. Yes, it's a recurrence because some constant is there and some Pn minus 1. Pn is calling Pn minus 1. Okay. This is a recurrence. This is recurrence. This is recurrence, but it is non-linear. Okay. Okay. What do you want is linear homogeneous recurrence. Okay. Then third one, yes, this is a linear homogeneous recurrence, linear homogeneous and recurrence relation of degree 2 because you are calling previous two calls. Okay. This is not homogeneous. Why this is not homogeneous? Because you are having 1 plus 1. Okay. You cannot add just constant. Okay. Okay. And why this is not a recurrence? Anyone? bn is equals to n bn minus 1. It should be some constant into bn minus 1. Okay. So problem first of solving, you will in exam you will get some problems on solving these recurrent. Okay. And you have to use this proposition. So first proposition says that a n is equals to c1 a n minus 1 plus c2 a n minus 2 plus ck a n minus k be the linear homogeneous recurrence. Assume that a n satisfies the recurrence, and assume that sequence a and dash also satisfies the recurrence. So suppose you have two sequences which satisfies the above recurrence. So this proposition 1 says that if you add these two recurrences, you will get a new recurrence, and that recurrence will also satisfy the above recurrence. Okay. So bn is equals to an plus an dash. If you add them, you will get some new recurrence that will also satisfy this above recurrence equation. Similarly, if you add some constant alpha with this whole recurrence, if you add alpha over here, and so on, so this will also satisfy the above equation. Okay, that alpha should be a constant. Now, example and proof of previous whatever this is given. So first proof is says that if you add two recurrences, you will get something which is also a recurrence. Okay. So C1 a n minus 1 plus C2 a n minus 2 up to Ck a n minus k plus C1 a n minus 1 dash plus C2 a n minus 2 dash, because this is another recurrence and this is another recurrence, and you are adding these. Okay. So if you are adding these, you will get some C1 outside, right? So this is also a recurrence. If you write C1 a n minus 1 plus a dash a n minus 1, this is a new recurrence B. Okay. Similarly, similar thing is for alpha. If you multiply it with a constant, you will get a new recurrence D. Okay. Alpha a n minus 1, you will get a new recurrence D. Okay. Now, how to solve this? So first of all, you must know before solving any recurrence what is characteristic equation. Now, characteristic equation is the basic from where you start a recurrence. Okay, if your recurrence was a n is equals to a n minus 1, so you only need one constant, right? Of you will be given a0, you can calculate a1, which is dependent upon a0, right? And you can calculate a2, which is dependent upon a1, and so on, right? So first of all, try to find out the basic, so initial condition for wherever this equation is true. Okay. So how you can find out the initial condition? Online students, up till now, everything is clear. Online students, anyone? Okay. Next example, we have some example problems, and I will call out name. Either one of you have to solve that recurrence. Okay. Just have a look at these slides more closely. Okay. So how so I was telling you, like, characteristic equation is a basic, so from where we start a recurrence. Okay, because you are given a naught, you are giving a1. If your recurrence was of power 2, right? So what you will do is you will calculate a2. So for calculating a2, you just require first equation, right? So that is your basic, that is your characteristic equation. Okay. Now it says try to find a solution of form r to the power n, and r to the power n is equals to, so instead of a n, you just place your r to the power n, right? You will get this. You divide all the terms by r to the power n minus k, you will get r to the power k. So r to the power n minus k is nothing, n minus 2. If you have a characteristic equation was of the form an is equals to something an minus 1 plus something an minus 2, right? So this is nothing, n minus 2. Okay, in that case, So you just divide it, you will get the basic equation, first equation. Okay, so that is your characteristic equation. Now, for example, fn is equals to fn minus 1 plus fn minus 2. This is your Fibonacci, right? So if f0 was given, f0 was, what is f0 in Fibonacci?
Ma'am, 0.
0. And what is f1 in Fibonacci?
1.
1, right? So you can calculate f2. F2 is
1.
fn, right? So characteristic equation is nothing. You just place some variable r instead of this r to the power n over here. You will place r to the power n is equals to r to the power n minus 1 plus r to the power n minus 2, and you divide both sides by r to the power n minus 2. You will get r square is equals to r plus 1, and then you will finally get r square minus r minus 1 is equals to 0. And what you will get after solving this? What you will get after solving this? What is the value of r? Not able to solve this? Hmm? R is equals to plus minus.
Ma'am, minus 1 plus root 3 iota by 2 and minus 1 minus root 3 iota by 2.
ठीक है, so you will get r. Okay, so this is your final characteristic equation after you replace it. Okay, so this is a question. No, this is proposition, and then we will get some example. I will give you this example to solve yourself. Okay. So proposition. So R is a solution of R to the power k minus C1, R to the power k minus 1 minus C2, R to the power k minus 2, and so on. Ck is equals to 0 if and only if R to the power n is a solution of this. So previously, uh, R would be a solution of the characteristic equation if and only if R to the power n is a solution of the whole recurrence. Why? Because we have divided it by R to the power some n minus k, right? So example, so this equation is given to you. This is characteristic equation, and you will find out R is 2. So 2 to the power n will be the solution of this whole. So is what using what do we want to do using this characteristic equation is we want to reduce it to some value, okay, and then we want to find its solution, that is r, and we want to say that r to the power n would be the solution of original recurrence because we don't want to solve the original recurrence, right? Clear? Now this is exactly what they have done in this example. So we say that r, after solving the characteristic equation, we get r is equals to 2, and we say because some r to the power n is a solution of original recurrence, so we will say 2 to the power n satisfies the original recurrence. Okay, so final recurrence is this. This is exactly what we want to find out. We want to find out a solution for the recurrence relation given to us, right? And this would be the solution. This does not depend upon fn minus 1 and fn minus 2, right? So we want to reduce this dependency of a function, previous function, to something, to a new function having n. Clear? Any doubt, anyone, in this solution? So what is the role of characteristic equation? It's just reducing the original recurrence to some constant, and you will get some value, and that value to the power n is also the solution for original recurrence, and you will say, okay, this you will find out some solution for the original recurrence. Okay. Now theorem 1. So consider a characteristic equation given to you and a recurrence given to you. Assume that all R2, R1, R2, Rm, because here R was 2. Okay, so you can find out R can be plus minus 2, R can be 1, 2, 3, 4, R1, R2, Rk. So many R can be there, right? So many solutions for the characteristic equation can be there. Okay. Now, to assume that this all satisfy the equation, and let alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha m be any constant. So it says that an such that alpha r to the power n, alpha r to the power n, and so on, where r are solution for the recurrence. If you multiply solution for the recurrence to the some constant, and you make it to the power of n, okay, 2 to the power n, and then you multiply it with some constant, maybe 5 into 2 to the power n plus something into 2 to the power n. Okay, if you keep on doing this, that also satisfy the recurrence. In previous slide we had seen that uh, r to the power n, that is 2 to the power n, satisfies the recurrence, right? But here we are saying that if you multiply all the r's with some constant and you make it to the power n, that also satisfies the recurrence. Okay, so for solving more complex equations you will need this. Okay, now proof. So by proposition 2, what is proposition 2? uh, all r to the power n satisfies the recurrence. We have seen in the previous example also, 2 to the power n satisfies the original recurrence. Now, and by proposition 1, if you multiply it with any constant, because we have seen if you add two recurrences, that is also fine. If you multiply it with a constant, that is also fine. Okay, so by proposition 1, if you multiply it with a constant, that also satisfies the recurrence. Now, applying proposition 1 again, keep on doing this, you will get this, and this also satisfies the recurrence. Okay, you are just adding those terms. If you add them, that will also satisfy the recurrence, and if you multiply constant, that will also satisfy a recurrence. Okay, now example 1. Just don't look at the solution, look at the problem itself. So an is given to you, and a naught is equals to 2, and a1 is given to you. So initial values are given to you, a naught and a1. Now what you will do, first of all, find out characteristic equation, which is this. Okay, you will get two r's. Okay, r1 and r2. Okay, now by theorem you know that a to the power n, this is a solution, right? Which theorem? In the previous slide, right? So 2 to the power n and minus 1 to the power n. So r to the power n, r to the power n. If you multiply these two with some constants, that is also solution to the original recurrence. Okay. Now, what you want to do is, because you are saying that this is a solution, this is a solution to your original recurrence, right? But what is alpha 1 and what is alpha 2, you don't know, right? So what you want to do now is find out alpha 1 and alpha 2. How you will find out? You will put the original values of a naught and a1, you will calculate a2, you will calculate a3, and so on. Okay, so first of all, you calculate a naught and you calculate a1 using this equation. Okay, so as soon as you put two values, you get two equations. So for solving equations of two variables, you just need two equations, right? Right. So you will get alpha 1, you will solve for alpha 1 and alpha 2, you will get alpha 1 is equals to 3 and alpha 2 is equals to 1. Clear? Now final equation is, you will put alpha 1 over here and alpha 2 over here, right? 3 into 2 to the power n minus 1 into minus 1 to the power n. Clear? This problem is clear to everyone? Similarly, next question, solve this yourself. Note down this question, solve this yourself. Online students, I will call out names and one of you will have to answer. So this is clear. Online students. So any one of you will explain the question? Ojas. You can explain the question. Solution is clear. Okay. Who has done? Yes. You can have a look at the solution. Uh, किसी का भी नहीं हुआ है अभी तक. चलो I'll quickly explain. पहले हमने कैरेक्टरिस्टिक इक्वेशन फाइंड आउट कर ली. ठीक है, विच इज आर स्क्वायर माइनस आर माइनस वन. रूट्स हम निकाल लेंगे यूजिंग फॉर्मूला. टू इक्वेशन का रूट्स निकालने वाला फॉर्मूला. ठीक है, फिर हमने क्या किया, बिकॉज वी आर सेइंग अल्फा वन आर टू द पावर एन प्लस अल्फा टू आर टू द पावर एन इज ऑल्सो सोल्यूशन ऑफ ओरिजिनल रिकरेंस. ओके, एंड देन वी आर सेइंग alpha 1 plus alpha 2, we are just putting out the values for f0 and f1. So using this, we are just calculating f0 and f1, and we have from these two equations, we will calculate alpha 1 and alpha 2. Okay, and then we will put alpha 1 and alpha 2 over here. You will get your final solution for the original recurrence. Okay, clear? Similarly, next question. Now, in next question, you just have three r's. So that would be alpha 1, r1 to the power n, alpha 2, r2 to the power n, and alpha 3, r3 to the power n. And you will solve these equations for three variables. Okay. Now, next, solving linear homogeneous recurrences. So, now, abhi tak we have seen like alpha into r to the power n is a solution. Alpha into r1 to the power n plus alpha into r2 to the power n and so on is also the solution. Now they are saying that n to the power m, n to the power 1, n to the power 2 multiply by r to the power n is also the solution. Instead of multiplying it with a constant, we are multiplying it with powers of n. Clear? N r to the power n, n square r to the power n, and so on, n to the power m. Any powers of n multiplied by r to the power n is also the solution. Okay. Now let's see. So consider the characteristic equation given to you. This is the characteristic equation. Then recurrence is given to you. Assume that characteristic equation has this value. Assume that characteristic equation has t less than is equals to k distinct solutions for all I with multiplicity m. Multiplicity m means you were having three r's, so multiplicity was 3. Okay? You were having 2 r's, multiplicity was 2. You were having 1 r, multiplicity was 1. Okay? So multiplicity depends upon how many solution you were having. Okay? So if you have multiplicity mi, so what you will do is multiply this an is equals to some value with first r. This is your first r. This is your second r. This is your third r. Solved from the characteristic equation. And r to the power m multiplied by constant was already there. Now you are saying if you multiply this constant with n to the power 0, n to the power 1, n to the power up to n to the power m minus 1. Okay, that is also a solution. For each and every r, you have so many n's. Okay, as coefficients. Now example is given to you over here. Its multiplicity is 2. Okay, why multiplicity is 2? Because equation was having two variables, but only r was only 1. If 3 comma 4 was there, then multiplicity would be 1 only. Okay, multiplicity depends upon if you are having this 3 comma only 3 and as a root, and you are having three things over here like n minus 1, n minus 2 and n minus 3. So it's recurring 3 times, but root is only 1. Answer solution is only 1. So you need to find out three values, right? So that is why you just place a constant as well as constant to the power n. Okay, multiplicity is 2. Okay, clear? If root was 3 comma 4, then no need to do this. What you will do, a1 3 plus a2 3 and so on. a2 4, some constant, a1 3 to the power n plus a2 4 to the power n. That you have done. Okay, right now you were having only 3. So in that case, what you will do is alpha plus alpha to the power n. If 3 cube was there, r minus 3 to the power 3. So it would be alpha 1 0 plus alpha 1 1 n plus alpha 1 2 n square. Clear? This thing is clear? And then you will solve it exactly same thing. Okay? Too complicated? क्लियर है उधर? यहाँ पे you have three variables n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3. Okay, but solution is only one solution you are having. Okay, so in that case, three variables, this and this, n to the power 0, n to the power 1 and n square. ठीक है? Similarly, next example, here you are having n minus 2 and n minus 4. Now n minus 1 is missing, n minus 3 is missing. First of all, you have to check whether it's a recurrence or not. It's a recurrence because constant is 0 with n minus 1 and n minus 3, right? Okay, now value was r1 is occurring 2 times, r2 is occurring 2 times, right? So for each 2 times over here and 2 times over here. Clear? Clear है सबको? Now, let's come to non-homogeneous recurrences. We have time? Okay, we only have left. Okay. We'll just quickly have a look at them. Just only one thing is there, which is Fn, in addition to previous whatever we were having. So if you are having addition of Fn, that is your non-homogeneous recurrence. For example, this is an is equals to n minus 1 plus some function of n, some function of n. This is homogeneous part, this is homogeneous part, this is non-homogeneous part, this is homogeneous part, and this is non-homogeneous part. Okay. Now let's have a look at this. It says if you have a homogeneous sequence Hn is homogeneous, An is sequence An and Bn. So AN is non-homogeneous and BN is also non-homogeneous. In that case, uh, AN will be will satisfy the non-homogeneous equation. In that, AN will satisfy the above given equation if and only if subtraction of those two non-homogeneous would be homogeneous. Subtraction of AN minus BN would be HN, and that HN is homogeneous. If this equation is true, then above AN would satisfy the above non-homogeneous equation. Okay. Proof is given. So Bn is given to you, Hn is given to you. Bn plus Hn, if you add them, you will get something plus something. And this is your non-homogeneous part, this is your homogeneous part. So homogeneous plus non-homogeneous, An. This is, assume this is An, this is again non-homogeneous. Correct? Now again, similar thing, Bn and An both are suppose non-homogeneous. If you subtract them, you will get something as Hn, which is homogeneous, right? Fn would cancel out, you will get homogeneous part. And now again example, how you will solve it. Now previously what you were doing, you were you will solve homogeneous part separately and you will solve non-homogeneous part separately. So this is your Bn and this is your Bn and this is your An, suppose. Okay, and this is your An, and you need to find out equation for second part and first part. Okay, now assume Bn is equals to Cn plus D, and you will calculate, find out the values of C and D. What is C and D? This. Okay. Since Bn is equals to Cn plus D is a linear non-homogeneous recurrence similar to Fn. So this was your Fn, right? 3n plus 1. Okay. Now what you will do is you will Bn is equals to n minus 1 plus n minus 2 plus Cn plus 1, and you will reduce it to characteristic equation and you will find out C and D. Okay. You will find out C and D. Then what you will do, you have calculated Bn is equals to minus 3n minus 10. You have find out C and D, value of C and D, and you have solved for second part, which is your non-homogeneous part, your function Fn, right? Now what you will do for initial part. So initial part procedure is the same. What you will do is you will find out the characteristic equation. You will alpha root 1 to the power n, alpha root 2 to the power n, exactly same procedure. Okay, and this is your Hn part, homogeneous part. Okay, so this is your homogeneous part and this is your non-homogeneous part. You have found out equation for this and you have found out equation for this, right? You will calculate alpha 1, alpha 2, just like you have calculated C and D in the previous examples also. You will find out, and then your final equation is you have found out alpha 1, alpha 2. Your final equation is this. This is your non-homogeneous part, this is your homogeneous part. So this is a solution of original recurrence. Clear? Solve these equations at home. If you feel any difficulty, we'll discuss tomorrow in class. Okay? Similarly, another example. So go through it. Okay? If you face any difficulty over here, let me know. So that's all. T1 का syllabus, I will discuss it with, I will post it in the classroom. ठीक है?